would be shocking. That would be under. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The less expensive insurance. And I never. Yeah. Just being completely prepared.
Well, yeah, the messes, do your messes come up in your dreams? I'm always clearing out messes.
And what's that?
I know. That's what I'm wondering.
Good morning, Nikki. I don't think I said it. I've done that. So that's your goal.
Good morning. Good morning. Another wonderful day this week. Okay, as you are, you're welcome here. Visitor, friend, or longtime member, you are welcome here. With little children, or your partner, or alone, we joyfully welcome you here. You're welcome here as believer or doubter, as joiner or loner. You're welcome here. Feeling a part of us or not, full of energy or not, seeking a vision or a rest, you're welcome to join us as you are. We acknowledge that we are in the Aboriginal territories of the Salish, Nez Perce, Blackfeet, and Anishinaabe people who shared the Helena Valley as hunting grounds. Can they get in? Here they come. Okay. We have a special treat today. We have a visiting minister from Los Alamos, New Mexico. Her name is Tina DeYoe, and she completed her Master of Divinity degree at Princeton Theological Seminary in 2010. She's been serving the Unitarian Church of Los Alamos for 10 years as their Director of Lifespan Religious Education. She was ordained by the Unitarian Church in Los Alamos in October 2023. Reverend Tina's passions include racial justice work, collaboration, empowering youth and kids, hiking, taking photographs, traveling, community potlucks, tasting new beer, and spending time outside in the mountains. I think she'll fit right into our community if she decides to come to Montana. Tina is committed to building an inclusive, fun, and joy-filled beloved community within our UU circles and carrying that work out into the wider community and world around us. I have to see what's next. Excuse me. Okay, Sam hasn't arrived yet. Mara, can you light the candles for us? If everybody would turn to, that was my fault. This is it. I didn't pass out these hymnals because I forgot about the reading. So I need 1 or 2 volunteers to pass out the hymnals. This is my fault for forgetting this part, but I have to say that this morning I was driving in and I was humming For the Beauty of the Earth, and I came into this church and the Plymouth congregation was playing For the Beauty of the Earth. And so here we are. Tina, do you want to lead up here? Or should I?
No, yeah, we can say it together, yeah.
Well, we're all going to say it together.
Oh, great. And thank you, Mara, right? Yeah, thank you for lighting your chalice. So let us read our opening chalice lighting words here, number 417. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue-green ball, yes! Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place, to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live, welcome us. Amen.
Now we're going to sing in the other hymn book, Morning Has Come. It's number 1000, and Stand If You're Able.
Cheryl's going to play it all the way through first so that you can see how the melody goes. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
There's more coming.
Would somebody like to assist Mara in the offertory? Sure. Great, thank you. Thank you for your gifts this day and for all the gifts of action that make this community possible. If you're visiting, please remain our guest. Your presence is your gift to us.
And I would like to invite the young or young at heart, feel free to come up here, and we're gonna read the story called The Kapok Tree. So, all ages, young at heart too, young and young at heart. Come on up, join me at the steps. Oh, thank you. Cool, thanks for coming up.
This is Mara.
Hey, Maria. You want to help? We can hold the story if you want. You want to look at the pictures? So this is called, use it. This is called The Great Kapok Tree by Lynn Cherry. Can you see it? Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped and pointed to a great kapok tree. Then he left. There's the big tree. The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop. Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and the hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep. There he is, sleeping. A boa constrictor lived in the kapok tree. He slithered down its trunk to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then the huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear. Senor, this tree is a tree of miracles. It is my home, where generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down. A bee buzzed in the sleeping man's ear. Senor, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower to flower, collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate the trees and the flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another. Bzzz. A troop of monkeys. Everyone do monkey noises. A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping man, Senor, we have seen the ways of man. You chop down one tree, then come back for another and another. The roots of these great trees will wither and die, and there will be nothing left to hold the earth in place. When the heavy rains come, the soil will be washed away, and the forest will become a desert. Oh no. A toucan and a macaw and a cock of the rock flew down from the canopy. Senor, squawked the toucan, you must not cut down this tree. We have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain. Uh-oh. It's not good. A bright and small tree frog crawled along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, he piped in the man's ear. Senor, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives. Many ruined lives. You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree. Can you all ribbit? Ribbit. 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 A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because his spotted coat blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed him. Now he leapt down and padded silently over to the sleeping man. He growled in his ear, Senor, the kapok tree is my home to many birds, and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner? Uh-oh. 4 tree porcupines swung down from the branch and whispered to the man. I don't know what porcupines make. Does anyone? Do you know? Poking, yeah. Senor, do you know what animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. And Senor, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen, yeah. If you cut down the forests, you will destroy that which gives us all life. Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with their young clinging to their backs. The unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man, Senor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future. And surely you know that what happens tomorrow depends upon what you do today. The big man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree. He does not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees. Sorry. That's okay. A 3-toed sloth, had begun climbing down from the canopy when the men first appeared. Only now did she reach the ground. Right? They're very slow, aren't they? Sloths, yep. Plodding ever so slowly over to the sleeping man, she spoke in her deep and lazy voice. Senor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, on what would you feast your eyes? A child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. He murmured in his ear, "Señor, when you awake, please look upon all with new eyes." The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him, staring, were the creatures who depended upon the great kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were. Look at all those animals. Aren't those cool? Yeah. The man looked about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels amidst the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from the great kapok tree. The man smelled the fragrant perfume of their flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor, but he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent. The man stood and picked up his axe. He swung back his arm as though to strike the tree, and suddenly he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and the child. He hesitated. Then he dropped the axe and walked out of the rainforest. And that is the end of our story this morning about the great kapok tree and the man who didn't cut it down, right? He saw all the animals and people. Oh, do you want? So I have some coloring pages of the kapok tree and the crayons, and you can take those back. Mara, if you want to take those to the nursery room. You don't have to. They're coloring pages if you want. All right. Thank you for your help, Eric. So we will enter into a time of meditation this morning. And how many of you are familiar with metta meditations? I'm sure some of you, yeah? Metta is a Buddhist meditation practice. It is a concentration practice to cultivate unconditional goodwill for all. It is practiced by reciting and contemplating a series of aspirations or prayers that express your compassion and loving kindness towards yourself and others. With each recitation, you expand the scope of your loving kindness from yourself to those close to you, to those for whom you feel antipathy, and finally, to all sentient beings. So we're going to enter into this meditation time, and I ask you to ground yourself and be in this meditative state as you listen to this meditation, and can repeat it yourself silently if you would like. And I will ring our bell, and then I will start our meditation. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be happy. May my body support the practice of loving kindness. May I be free from ill will, affliction, and anxiety. May I love myself as I am. May I be happy and free from suffering. May I find peace in an uncertain world. May I find ease on the middle path between attachment and apathy. May you be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May you be happy. May your body support the practice of loving kindness. May you be free from ill will, affliction, and anxiety. May you love yourself as you are. May you be happy and free from suffering. May you find peace in an uncertain world. May you find ease on the path of between attachment and apathy. May we be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May we be happy. May everyone's body support the practice of loving kindness. May we be free from ill will, affliction, and anxiety. May we love ourselves as we are. May we be happy and free from suffering. May we find peace in an uncertain world. May we find ease on the middle path between attachment and apathy. And as we take some more deep breaths, we will ring our bell and continue to meditate for another minute, and then I'll ring the bell again. And now we will sing a meditation hymn, number 1007. There's a river flowing in my soul.
in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my soul.
This is from The Earth Path by Starhawk. In this crucial time, we are called to be healers of the earth, of the human community, of each other, and of ourselves. We speak of healing the earth, but in reality, what needs healing is our human relationship to the earth. Healing begins with listening. By maintaining a personal practice of listening to the earth, we create a new relationship that is healing, not just for the earth, but for ourselves. For when we are out of communication with the elements and energies and processes that sustain our lives, we cannot be healthy or whole.
Thank you, Charlotte. So, my name is Tina DeYoe. I use she, her pronouns. And for those with limited sight, I am a white woman with brown hair and a ponytail, close to her 40s, who is wearing a rainbow stole and a floral top. Just in case you needed to know. So as Unitarian Universalists, we know that looking at eco-justice issues through different lenses and hearing other perspectives is key to the work of intersectional environmental justice. I strongly believe that through shared dialogue and shared wisdom, transformative solutions can become a reality. So this sermon, this message, is inspired by the work of Dr. Melanie Harris, a Black eco-womanist and theologian who gave us this model of telling our eco-autobiographies and eco-memoirs using the lenses of liberation and transformation. just as Dr. Harris's work has inspired me, may you also be inspired to explore and share your eco-memoir as a starting place for all of us to commit to more collaborative eco-action work. To that end, I would like to share with you today this eco-memoir, my eco-memoir. For the past 10 years, I've been living in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Anyone heard of it? Maybe? Yes. Anyone been there? Yeah, oh yeah. And serving at UU Church as their director of religious lifespan education. My favorite seasons in Los Alamos are spring and autumn. Los Alamos literally translates to the cottonwoods. And during these seasons, the cottonwood trees turn bright green with new buds in the spring, and the leaves turn bright yellow in the fall as they begin their dying process. These green and golden cottonwood trees line the Rio Grande and create a path along the only major river in New Mexico. To add to the impressive spring and fall show, the aspen trees, do y'all have aspen trees here? Yep. The aspen trees in the mountains high above the Rio Grande Valley also turn spectacular shades of light green in the spring with their new buds and yellow, red, and orange in the fall. Spring and autumn really are the most beautiful seasons in northern New Mexico. Unfortunately, in the past couple decades, the land around Los Alamos has suffered from numerous forest fires. I'm sure you guys are aware of that here as well. After a forest fire clears the land, the aspen trees pop up in full force in the burn scar. In the fall of 2020, as I was getting out of town, away from people in COVID, I took my annual drive to look at the autumn leaves changing color up in the mountains. I love taking photos, especially of the leaves changing color. That same year, I had just been through a painful divorce and a painful knee injury. I stopped the car at a spot where there was a sea of golden aspen leaves. These aspen trees had popped up in the burn scar on the mountain. Later, while looking at the photos I had taken, I decided to reflect on my own connection with the land. I posted a photo of myself on Facebook looking toward the bright yellow leaves with the tagline, "Scars can heal, and from those scars emerge beauty and new growth." At that point, I felt a connection to the land. I felt empathy for the land and its scars. I knew that we were healing together. My healing took the form of weekly counseling and group counseling sessions. I was learning to practice mindfulness, meditations, and use dialectical behavioral therapy skills. I was using diary cards to track my emotions. I was working to recognize my own judgments and assumptions, while also confronting my own pain and vulnerabilities. Most importantly, I was learning to use practices of gratitude and forgiveness. I also continued physical therapy for my knee. I continue to use many of these therapy practices to this day. What practices have helped you heal from scars in your life? I'll give you a minute to think about that. The land's healing has been in the form of thorny bushes popping up first, followed by the beautiful aspen trees later. I experienced working through a lot of emotional and even physical pain as I continued to heal. Depression and sadness were hard things to face during my grieving process. These thorny areas were necessary because they helped lead me to a place where I could see the beauty within me. Healing does not come without some thorns. Where have you experienced thorny bushes in your healing? You can think about that too. As I continued to contemplate the parallels between my healing and that of the land, it occurred to me that people also helped in the land's healing with receding efforts. Family and friends were priceless in the process of my healing. Healing does not come without others helping us along the way. Healing work is indeed a journey, as we all know. The land has taught me that there is beauty in resilience, healing, and even pain. The scars upon the land have taught me a lot about my own scars. This is where my story connects with the story of the land. The lands upon which Los Alamos, New Mexico is located bear many scars from history. The whole geology of the area was created by many volcanic eruptions, some violent and some slow, all emanating from one super volcano, now turned into a caldera and a dormant volcano. Caldera smaller than Yellowstone, though. This same land has been home to the Tewa and Keres peoples for a very long time, long before the Spanish and the white settlers arrived. In their time of occupation, the Spanish committed many atrocities against the indigenous people, as did the white people who eventually followed. Blood was spilled on these indigenous lands. These scars on the land are not visible to the eye, but the traumatic scars of these events still exist in the indigenous Pueblo peoples who live on the land. Through all of this trauma, the beautiful cottonwood trees that line the Rio Grande have shown their green and golden colors in the spring and fall. The land and its indigenous peoples are resilient. They both continue to persist and grow to this very day. Like all people, cottonwoods need water to thrive. This is why they do well along the banks of the river. Water resources in the deserts of New Mexico are scarce and are becoming more so. Many of these cottonwoods are dying because of the lack of water in areas where the water used to flow freely and predictably. Aspen trees high in the mountains are suffering because there is less rain and in the summer and less snowpack in the winter. These lands are being scarred by the constant drought that much of the West is now facing. Water is life, and we must protect our waters. Water cleanses, heals, and restores. Cottonwoods need water to live. Aspen trees also need water to live. We need water to live. We are all connected. We are all in this together. The Tewa and Caris lands of northern New Mexico also bear the scars from the military-industrial complex in the form of Los Alamos National Laboratory and the Manhattan Project. The lab was built on sacred Tewa and Caris land that includes sacred sites, but the Tewa and Caris people still cannot access all of their sacred sites. The Tewa and Caris people are also worried about the land, the water, the crops, the air, the Rio, the people. Los Alamos National Lab has been trying to clean up the environmental messes that have been made since the creation of the atomic bomb during World War II. Unfortunately, there is still a chromium plume that exists in Los Alamos that continues to move toward our groundwater wells and toward Pueblo land and the Rio Grande. Intersectional work needs to be done to tackle this environmental issue. Tewa Women United is an indigenous activist organization in northern New Mexico that works on these environmental justice issues in Los Alamos and the surrounding Pueblo lands. This organization is calling on the Environmental Protection Agency to change the exposure standards to protect those most vulnerable. Rather than the reference man to be a male in their 20s and 30s who weighs 150 pounds, who's 5 feet 9 inches, Tewa Women United is calling on the EPA to change their regulatory standard to a reference human, that better reflects those people who are most vulnerable to toxic exposures, i.e. indigenous pregnant women and their young children. If we take an intersectional analysis of our connection to the land that we occupy, we must also consider and listen to the wisdom, experiences, and knowledge of the indigenous peoples of the land. My own personal scars have taught me a lot. The scars on the land that I love in New Mexico have also taught me a lot. I feel empathy for the land. We, the flora, the fauna, the settlers, the immigrants, and the indigenous are all connected through our past, present, and future. This is what the land has taught me. We are connected, and we must work together to repair and heal ourselves as we repair and heal the land. My own transformation and liberation is connected to the land. My resilience is connected to the resilience of the land. My healing is connected to the healing of the land. The change of the seasons into spring or autumn are times for us all to reflect and be grateful for the beauty of the land that surrounds us. These seasonal changes inspire us to reflect on how we want to continue the repair of the land and ourselves. Many religions are connected to this seasonal calendar as well. Ramadan is beginning this week and will end in April. Many Muslims will be fasting, praying, and entering into a time of reflection. In the Christian calendar, many people are celebrating this season of Lent in preparation for Easter, as they also pray, reflect, and fast. I believe this shows a wider connection between the rhythms of humanity and the rhythms of our natural world. The Eco-Memoir approach that I've been using today uses a wider lens of intersectional analysis across gender, race, class, and borders to understand the full scope of our interconnections to one another and the earth. This lens spotlights marginalized identities, communities, experiences, and wisdoms as an essential part of eco-justice work. Marginalized communities are the most impacted by climate crisis. This is why intersectional analysis and hearing the stories of those most impacted is of utmost importance when doing collective eco-justice work. So where does your story intersect with the story of the land that you were occupying? Where does repair need to happen on the land that you occupy? How does your story help you commit to more collaborative eco-action work? The eco-action work that I am committing to is the protection of our most precious resource of the land, that of water. I want to continue to learn how to be a better steward of water and our land's precious resources wherever I may live. My eco-memoir story is leading me to commit to being a water protector. My story is leading me to engage in this e-collective, e-collaborative, e-cooperative, e-connected work. May we all listen to our stories and each other's stories and commit to the collective eco-justice work before us. Amen, and may it be so.
Would anybody like to comment on that? Your own personal story? Okay, we'll go on to the next thing. Our closing hymn is 164, Blue Boat Home. 1064. And I want to thank Karen for being our cantor today. We had a new hymn, and it's really nice to have her up here.
Low below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and to the waves upholding me. Hail the great winds urging me on. Greet the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
And Charlotte is going to extinguish our chalice. And may we go from this place today thinking about our own eco-memoirs as they can lead us to doing the transformative eco-action work of protecting our precious blue boat home for generations to come. Amen, and may it be so. Peace.
Okay, YouTube is turned off now, I guess. And we have some announcements. Yes, Marianne.
But it's not an announcement, it's a concern.
Concern. First of all, I want to thank Reverend Tina. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.